All right. So, hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to see so many of you online. Thank you so much for joining us for Marches from the Bench with Beldan Sezen. I'm really excited to be hosting Beldan this month because I am a huge fan of Beldan's work, and we've had many great conversations over the course of the Who is America exhibition. So, I look forward to hearing more about Beldan's work and also the reading that they will be doing for us today. So, a little bit of housekeeping. If you could please make sure that your microphone is muted, that would be fantastic. You can keep your cameras either on or off during the presentation. We are recording this presentation, but you will not be in the recording, just so you know. We're going to hold all questions until the end of the presentation, and the reason why is because, boy, we have a treat today. Beldan is going to be doing two readings for us, one of their work, Home of the Brave, and then also what I believe is their newest book called All Right, Death, which I'm very excited about. So if you could hold your questions until the end, that would be super. I will go ahead and you can type your questions into the chat when the time comes. And I want to tell you a little bit about Beldan. Uh, Beldan Sezen explores themes of war, confinement, and human resilience through minimalist work and artist books. Her practice sits at the intersection of memory, identity, and collective experience. In 2015, Belden was awarded a Global Arts Fund by the Astraea Lesbian Foundation for Justice for her exploration of survival, freedom, and possibility regarding queer bodies. Their support culminated in her guerrilla art project, BUTCH IT UP, in Istanbul, Turkey. She also received a book as art development grant from the City of Amsterdam in 2018 and was awarded the 2022 Herzog August Library Artist Book Prize for her walk-in book, Spielraum. As a curator of artist books, Sezen is a member of Booklyn Inc, an artist-run nonprofit organization specializing in book arts and social justice. Additionally, she co-founded Cypher, a digital comics magazine spotlighting the bold lives and perilous work of global human rights defenders. Belden lives and works in New York and Amsterdam, and it is truly my pleasure to introduce everyone to Belden and their work today. So thank you so much, Belden. I'm going to go ahead and spotlight you right now.
Okay.
And you're good to go.
Thank you, Jenny. That was nice to be reminded of one's life. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I am on my bench and I will share some work with you. Yeah, I will share first my screen. Let's do that right away. And I will do two readings. One of the book Home of the Brave, which is in the current exhibition at the Center for Book Art. Let's bear with me. Oh yeah, I might have a German accent today, so don't mind that too much. Home of the Brave is a book that is based on an essay I read in 2019 by Max S. Gordon, who wrote his essay on addiction and Donald Trump. And from that essay, my mind wandered off and thought, okay, what happens if America enters rehab? So the book is based on that. The book has two voices, one in a general, like a we voice, a big voice, whatever, think pre-chorus or the Supremes. And the other one is a single voice. And I will read one first and then the other. All right, let's go. It starts with a quote by Max S. Gordon. America right now is like an alcoholic before entering recovery. These are our crackhead years. Home of the Brave. We the people admit that we are powerless over our addiction to whiteness. We admit that whiteness has made our lives as a nation unmanageable. We can overcome this addiction. We will make a fearless moral investigation of ourselves. We admit our wrong committed during addiction. We are ready. Ready, we say, to put principles before personalities again instead of personalities before principles. We are willing to remove our character defects to make amends with people harmed during addiction. As a nation, we continue the moral inventory and admit when we do wrong again. It ain't about the color of my skin. Everybody can be hooked believing in a fucked up dream. All my life, I have been told I'm special, a birthright that goes cold once I want to cash in. I did my utmost to pay my dues. Loyal as they come, obedience was everything. I beat, fucked over, ridiculed, raped, disowned, shamed, belittled, crippled, intimidated, and confined, and finally killed. The heartbreak is too much. I am America. Obey me or leave. The heartbreak is too much. It's easier to shoot up and get high again, in deep acknowledgement of my entitlement. I am America. And I'm an addict. And I need help. Are you helping? Or are you hurting? So that was the first book. Let's see if we can do this. And this is my recent book. Let's start this like this. All Right, Death. It's a book that is based on an old friend of mine who from the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, it is possible to commit, to have assisted suicide for psychological suffering. So the book goes through this process, or what I was thinking about it. Let's just start. All Right, Death. Dansen is bidden met je benen. Marcheren is vloeken met je voeten. Dancing is praying with your legs. Marching is cursing with your feet. What is autonomy? What is life worth when depending on someone else's will and ill? Am I not my own master in my own house? Who are you to keep me from leaving, restrained and contained, having me running in circles? The years of effort trying not to lose my mind, not losing my beating heart. For that dread of death is in this very life, not thereafter. The will is puzzled here and now, exhausted from steering away again and again from this pool to rest forever. Exhausted that will to live. I myself could make my peace. Hand me that blade, that liquid which promises no return. I am no slave to any master's will but my own. A life of suffering, what dreams may come, all sounds far more promising than to continue to bear the whips and scorns of time, the pangs of despised love, something I long for yet cannot stand. To bear those ills must give us pause. That is the respect. To fly to others we not know of. I've bared those ills long enough. No more. I had no need to understand you, nor am I upset about the way you died. The relief I saw on your face, the calm smile, was enough for me. Yes, I was very upset about the loss of life, that I lost you, that our deal to meet again soon was broken by your decision to die. Always easier to be angry than to feel helpless, I guess. What does it mean, might mean, unbearable psychological suffering? To not jump off that bridge on your way home, to steer against that persistent voice, against those feet carrying you towards a possibility to die. All those efforts to get you out of that pit, life in there was waiting for hours to pass. You made your case. Of course you did. 5 medical experts, doctors and psychologists listened to your request and reasoning. They made sure that you understood the consequences and finality of your wish. You did. Your request was granted sometime in spring. Summer came and you were gone. Dansen stap ik uit het leven, opgelucht dat het mag. Dancing, I step out of life, relieved that I may. Thank you. Now we can start the questions.
Thank you, Beldan. Thank you so much. I was struck as you were reading just now by how powerful it is to have both of the video and your voiceover at the same time. So thank you so much for giving us those interior looks of both works and reading the text as well. It's really such an amazing combo to be able to experience them both.
My pleasure.
I would say for the group, if you have questions, feel free to chat them right now. And I have a couple questions that I've kind of been thinking about as I have, experienced your work and seen it. And I was wondering, can you, All Right, Death is your newest book, yeah?
Yeah.
And so, can you talk a little bit about the process of putting that book together? And also, one thing that I noticed when I saw it in person is that it's quite a large volume. And so I was curious to know why the big size.
It is a big size, so let me just.
Mm.
Fortunately, I have one here. And it's not only big, it's also heavy. Yeah. It's the covers are out of wood. It had to be wood, and the insides, the pages are what are they? Presentation board. So the process, I sat with this book quite a long time, kind of 2 years.
Yeah.
I had the images.
Mhm.
I had no text, but it is a process to go through. What does it mean for me, actually? So a lot of writing before that.
Yeah.
Usually I do line plots. So, and the ones with the yellow rope, these are line plots with what is it, India ink. And the other ones, those ones,
Yeah.
they are sandpaper prints, choreographed. Yeah. So I made plates of photographs I had from my friend. She was a dancer. And I cut them out, put them on, like cut it on sandpaper and then made plates. And I printed them with oil-based ink. And so I also had to make a decision. I could run the plates through a printer, through a press, but I didn't want to do that. So they are hand printed because I wanted to go to the physical labor of printing them. Wood and also the inside pages, they behave differently than regular paper. So it's not as soft, so they don't, so the printing process is quite harsh.
Yeah.
What else? And the text came quite
And
late.
the size. Was the size important to you for the book?
Good question. Yeah. It had to, I wanted to have a bigger book. I wanted to have something that is yeah, that I have to feel it. This is the way that
Mm,
it had to be would, and
yeah. Yeah, I mean, my sense is that it's a large, deep topic. The concept behind the book is so, it's like a well almost. And so, having a book that size makes a lot of sense, I think.
okay,
It's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and
Let me see. April, let's see. It looks like
there's no one question.
uh I may have, you know what? I may have set our chats to the group incorrectly. So if you do have a question for Belden, go ahead and unmute and you can just ask your question right out loud. Yeah, April.
One of the things I'm working on a book about the death of a friend. And so I'm grateful that you gave this reading and this talk today because I've been struggling with the images and the thoughts. And one of the things I loved about both of your books is the immediacy of it. That included your own handwriting and the typewriter, and the photographic images of Home of the Brave. And I'm curious, when you're thinking about a book, what kind of ingredients or recipe do you use to create your books? Can you talk about that process
Mhm.
for yourself?
Definitely. There's not really a recipe. So for both books, like for Home of the Brave, clearly the question was first there in the text, you know, like, what does it mean? What is rehab? How does it look in an abstract way for a nation? It was 2019. It was still a time that when I was quite new in New York, so I was wandering around to the city and taking photographs. And the whole book started with in a studio space I shared with others, and we had butcher's paper laying around. I mean, it's not called butcher's paper in the studio, but it was butcher's paper at the end. So I was just starting to play with the paper, just folding it and folding it, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Can I make a book out of that?" So what book? And then like the the text was still in my mind. It's like, oh yeah, that. And I liked it. I liked that I could rip it. I liked that it still makes a book and that it has. So that was the beginning of Home of the Brave. And it was very clear to me that I didn't want to draw. I didn't want to draw the photographs. So the photo transfer method came to play. I'm also a big I like if things are not clean because that for me is not life. So the roughness of the images, sometimes they come out, and I like those surprises. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes not, or things are missing, which are still, yeah, they give me space you know, to go with the image in a more abstract way, which I like too. And one thing I saw in America, or at least in New York, um, those chairs, everyone knows these chairs, those gray chairs that you fold, and every meeting, no matter what, has these chairs. And also in my studio space, these chairs were there. And I have a background in comics. I am a comic. I think in images and text simultaneously. So those chairs, I saw them as characters. I mean, I'm also a generation of Disney, so I arranged chairs in a way that I wanted to have them depict communication or not communication. How does, so they were for me. I didn't want to draw in people, or I didn't want to draw people. It wasn't that. It was more like I want to have an abstract open space that invites, or how does these chairs relate to each other? And I didn't draw the chairs. The chairs I traced. I mean, I take pictures and then trace the photo because there's a difference between free drawing or tracing. If you like, you try to do your best to trace. And I thought in the whole meditative space of addiction, I might be wrong on that, but it is kind of a thing, a structure to hold on to trace something and do something, you know. So these are basically the thoughts on Home of the Brave. Um, for me, every book has its own life. So even if I ponder on an image, it's more like what the book wants to be. So sometimes the text is first, sometimes the images are first. The material comes to me. It's very clear if a book doesn't want to be this or that. And with All Right There's, as I said, the text came last. The text came through obsessive reading of Hamlet's speech and thinking, I was like, it's kind of in the back of your mind. There's like, okay, this is what he says, but what if? Not everyone is afraid of dying, right? Some people would gladly leave this space and dare to go and not know what awaits them because it's just too much. So that was in my mind. Yeah. Does that make sense? Ask me more and I can answer.
I
Glory
think
Bell.
I think Tyler had a question. True. There's
Well
Tyler.
then,
Hey, Tyler.
a lot of my question was already answered. I'm very interested in process and your process, and you covered a lot with the first book about playing with the paper and what elements from your environment were acting symbolically for you. So, if you could expand upon that for your second book a little bit, because you do bring in drawing in the second book, as well as, is that like a gold ink?
It's yellow.
Yellow.
But it's yellow. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just going to say, clearly you work from a very intuitive place. So I'm just, again, curious about in your working on the second book, what you were drawing from and what media you were using.
Yeah. So the yellow is shellac-based ink that makes it a little bit shiny. So let's see. The book is really too big. Oh, I can't do that. So let's do that. So this is indeed a drawing from a photograph that I had also from my friend, but they are line plots. It's not the easiest thing to, sorry for it. So when I say line plots, what I do is what Andy Warhol did back in the day with his shoes, he kind of developed that process from what I remember. So you have a drawing, you put it on your skin, and then it allows me to reproduce. So I ink it, and then I print it on the page, right? Which was one of the first things I did with my first book when I started doing artist books, because I wanted to have something I could reproduce, but definitely back then I didn't have any means to printing equipment, let's say it like that. So, and that was in Amsterdam, and there was a big exhibition of Andy Warhol, and I went there and was like, hey, these are not drawings. What are those? And they were line plots, the shoes and the cats. And this kind of opened the world for me because now I could print, I could reproduce, and I could do it on my kitchen table. And these, again, what you draw in this book, again, I wanted to have the line plots because I've done a couple of books with that. But I also wanted to something that contradicts them because the oil-based ink, especially when you print with sandpaper, it gives structure, right? So if you feel the book, you feel this kind of structures. And I wanted to have these elements kind of in conversation with the somewhat little bit neater line plots. And the yellow line that you see in the book that goes through the book, yellow is for me something that symbolizes life as the color. And since the rope is going always, it's kind of the interaction with life and the struggle as a symbol. Does that answer your question, Tyler?
Sure. I picked up on that with the line. There was definitely lots of tension and pull across all those, as well as the broken aspects of the body. So yeah, I'm just always interested in process. So thank you for sharing.
Sure. I never know what comes out. It's really just going in there and just trusting and playing, lots of playing.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think I'm showing up as Zoom user for some reason, but I wanted to say that the way you presented this for me was like book performance, that without the sound of your voice, that just looking at the images and reading the words would have had a different impact for me. So I wanted you to talk about that in terms of your presentation is performative. It has this quality of bringing a dimensionality, not just to the words, but the images that make it almost as if it is alive. So is this something that you are aware of, or is this something that becomes part of that awareness when somebody else experiences it that way.
First of all, it's Rebecca, right? I can't quite say who's talking. See who's...
Yeah, tell us your name, Zoom user.
Oh, my name is Carol.
Thank you,
Okay.
Carol.
Thanks, Carol. I am aware of my voice, and in good days it sounds like that, and other days it doesn't. The book comes without my voice, just that you know that. So I am aware of my voice. I can't say in my very, very long time ago, like many, many years ago, I did do poetry readings and performances. So that's probably kind of the back of my head. And I don't know. I mean, I hope that even if my voice is not heard, that when you read the book on your own, that it will still translate in that way. Because, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's still, my voice picks up what I already have put in.
Yeah.
Right? If the
Yes.
book works, my voice works. If the book doesn't work, my voice will not save it. That makes sense?
It makes sense. It's profound. And thank you so much. It was
You're very welcome.
wonderful to be introduced to your work and your voice.
Thank you.
I think we have time for one more question. Does somebody want to
Great.
jump up? Ask away.
Cool. Ken. Early.
Oh, I have a question. Sorry, Beldan. Can you tell us a little bit about the work that you do with Booklyn?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Booklyn is and we have Lori Bell also here, who is a Booklyn artist. Booklyn is an artist alliance in Brooklyn. We are a small group of dedicated artists who also sell books of other book artists. I think Booklyn has been here for more than 25 years by now. And I was extremely lucky in 2015 when I finished my first book to meet Marshall, who is one of the founders of Booklyn. Yeah, so I am an artist at Booklyn, but I also create and sell other artists' books. Is that, yeah. We
Yeah.
can't say a lot about Booklyn. I mean, it's a lot of history,
Right.
but I think that's booklyn.org if you want
Yeah.
to.
And I guess I was curious about the curatorial work that you do for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, what are we working right now? So it's hard to say. My main thing is, and what I like most, and maybe I don't, yeah, is to see. I love to work with libraries, right? Um, I love to know who is collecting what, and I love to see what Brooklyn has or what we have, who we represent, and to bring that into conversations. What I'm most proud of, as well in the history of Brooklyn and my work that I do and we all do, is that people who are usually not heard, who are not in the general canon, to give, not to give the, I don't like the word to give, but to make aware that we or others exist too. That America is more than what we know and it grows and changes daily. We don't know what tomorrow will come. You know, today it looks like that, but tomorrow is something else. And I always think language is fluent, everything is fluent. We don't live in static times, we never have been. And as well, I mean, it is good to preserve parts of the past, but it's also good to be open to see what else is there. Because every voice that enters is valuable, and every voice that enters enriches whatever we know. So expansion is always something I love, right? And I mean, again, Brooklyn is large. We are many. We have Bell from Puerto Rico, whose books are fantastic. We have people from Madrid. We have people from all over the world. And I don't think in concepts of nations, although I'm very aware that they exist. I mean, artists is a own group. It's some things are just universal. It doesn't, even if we don't speak the same language, in some things we understand each other. So my work at Brooklyn is very much that what is important to us, or that we have different perspectives, we would like to bring to the attention of the rest of the country in this case. That's important for us, and we like to support our artists.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's a really important thing to always constantly be thinking about. And I think it's a really great place for us to wrap up. So I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, everybody,
Thanks,
do the
Jenny.
do the clapping on the
No, no, no,
screen.
it's
I
fine.
know. Give
Thank you for being here.
someone
Thanks for showing
someone
up.
says that they're so starstruck they can't clap. They don't know what to
Oh,
do.
no, come on. Catherine. Well,
I'm
thanks for
going
being here.
to, let's see. I just have a little here. Okay, all right.
Ah,
I am going to say thank you so very much to Belden. That was fantastic, and it was really just a wonderful and incredible introduction to your always just fabulous
okay.
work. So
Cool.
thank you so much. And I will say that next month, April 2nd, we'll be hosting Rachel Phillips for our From the Bench presentation. Rachel is known also as Treadwell Press. She's going to be talking about her latest work. She's also one of our 2026 Small Plates artists, which we're very excited about. And so you'll be seeing my face again because I'll be hosting next month. So in the meantime, we'll have this recording up of Belden's From the Bench interview. We'll have this up in about 2 days. So if you know anybody who missed it, you can send them our way. Anyway, thank you again to Belden. Thank you so much. And
Thanks,
thanks to
Jenny.
everyone for
Bye,
being
everyone. Thanks for
online.
showing up.
All
Bye.
right. Thank you.